Hi everyone, I am back once again, and I know it has been a week since at least I uploaded again. Maybe even a bit more than that. I don't know. Yeah, I did promise I wanted to do more like on last week, but I'm gonna be honest, I actually got a bit lazy. So, but yeah, that's not important. The important is that I am back to do more videos that isn't related to battle, that focus a bit more on my backstory as my character. We have to build a story arc. You have to know that why we are here in the first place. So, you know, I got like from my last video be having a few ideas to what to do next, and from my good buddy OG Albina, he proposed about asking me what were my like my favorite luthier mon to use. But I don't really have any favorite, especially not to make a top 10 or even a top 5, so that I just like use them if I feel like it. So I've decided to do something different instead. I will instead show what were my most eat quote unquote set that I've used over the past few years. That I remember at least, because I'm pretty maybe I was able to do more than that, but with my brain was only able to remember three of them. Technically five, if of course if you include ICU and Mega Steelix. But I already showed them, so I feel like it was redundant to show them again. So I'm mostly gonna focus on those three, and they're pretty heat. Like what I'll show you. So as a context, all of them were during Generation 8, which was the time where I really started to shine as a player. So yeah, I expect this to be pretty short because it's only three of them that I'm gonna talk about. So I'll do my best to at least describe them the most to make up for it. Alright, so first, I didn't put them in order of which I thought was more eat than the other. I just put them the way they are. So the first one we're gonna talk about is a Sidra. Yep, not a Kendra, just a Sidra. So why did I use a Sidra? You may wonder. Well, it was all the way back in a league called OLT, which is a which was a league that had their player plays on how their skill is, so in different division. And at that time, I was playing the second highest division. And I remember I picked Sidrad by doing transaction during the half of the season. So I didn't even start it off with it. I just picked it up. So this might be wondering even more like, why would I even want to pick up a Citra of all Pokemon? Was it just leftover point to fill up the budget? Not really. So in one of my weeks, I was about to fight Stand Dracovish. Yeah, a pretty strong Pokemon to face when you don't have any water immunity, and when it's speed double, also hard to revenge kill. So also I have Pokemon like Tornty, Idra, and Azumarill. Like Azumarill will just get bulldozer by Dracovish in sand. Like it will take too much, especially with the sand. So I needed something that could withstand Dracovish at least. That was back then. Like I know I had nothing to insert offensively in the sand, so I needed something to stall out Dracovish. So normally you at this point people will just use like something variable key, use whatever recovery move they have, and that's pretty much what I also brought. So it was a set holding the Eviolite, having the move Scald, not yeah, Toxic, Rest and Sleep Talk, and Max Defense. So something like this. But normally, especially nowadays, I am really not a fan of set like this that tends to just try and hope to just withstand the Pokemon they are assigned for and try to do something. Like sure, getting Scalds off and Toxic off are nice, but when they're not targeting the Pokemon that this Pokemon is built for, I feel like it's mostly a waste. But on this set in particular, I knew it was fine because even though for me it was very likely to not get the Toxic on Dracovish like I would want to, I still know that I could potentially make sure Dracovish ruined itself because Sidra's ability is Poison Point, which means every time Dracovish makes contact with Sidra, it has a chance to get poisoned. And because all of Dracovish's moves that are at least as strong as are contact, especially Fish's friend, it means that 30% of the time I will get a poison point and make sure Dracovish can just chip itself down as I keep my Sidra healthy enough until it was time to beat the Dracovish. And that's exactly what happened in the game. Like I think it was like the first hit, or is it the second? It was either the first or second hit Dracovish did that got him to get poison point. So of course it's not as strong poison as toxic, but 12% is definitely enough. Anyway, and I remember I saw popped off a bit more. Like I know I said that normally you don't get like the status on the right target, but I remember it still got a toxic on like it had Tapulele and I got it right because I rolled a sleep talk as he switched on it, so that allowed me to play between Tornti and Etran more easily versus it. But yeah, this did pop off. It was only once, but it did its job and then some. So I thought it was worth mentioning before. Alright, and now let's move something more trash to be frank with it. Yes, I use Wormadam trash form as a sweeper. Yeah, now you're saying, Aimel, it's a Wormadam. How are you supposed to sweep with a Wormadam? Well, I'll tell you how I almost swept someone with a Wormadam. I say almost because I used the wrong move. Yeah, it was a set that had Bug Buzz as the only attacking move, Quiver Dance as a stealth move. I don't remember the third move was. I know it was something that I know it wasn't an attacking move because I remember I went mono Bug Buzz. I think it was substitute to ease to be behind one. I think it was substitute. But before I reveal the third move was, how about I show at least tell the the reasoning of why I wanted this. So it was in APA in one of their showdown league that there was. I mean, I would say it's similar to OLT because technically APA was I played in APA first. That higher tier division. This time I was the highest. And it was also in the earliest days of the Crown Tundra back in Gen 8. So, we're trying out stuff like G-Zap, Spectre, whatnot. And with the person that brought the set, they had an Heatran. So now I'm probably asking even more questions. How the hell can I beat an Heatran with a warmer than trash when Eden power is not allowed? Well, yeah. Even even if I went Flash Cannon over Bug Buzz, the result will be the same because both of those moves are just 4 times resisted by Etran, right? So, like, I won't be able to just sell to +6 to maybe just brute force Etran with multiple of my stab move when Etran can just burn me to a crisp before then. Well, let me show you something funny. I might not be able to to hit Etran hard, but Etran cannot hit me back either. Yep, with Skill Swap, I can steal Etran's Flash Fire ability, become immune to my one single weakness, and then set up as much cover as I want as long as it's not toxic or, roar or taunt, which it wasn't. So, Wormadam, Etran was set up fodder for Wormadam. And so why I say that it almost swept, because like I said, I should have been Flash Cannon because he also had a Clefable. I know it was Magic Guard, But not having a super effective stab move versus common Clefable, yeah, let's just say he technically wants more than I do. It was more of a stalemate between those two. So, like, I'm pretty sure he would have won if I was just Flash Cannon because I think Clefable, like, it doesn't matter on each trend because both moves are just 4 times resisted. Yeah. Also, funnily enough, he also had a Thunderous Therian, so I could just skill swap Ton DT's Volt Absorb to be immune to electric and really just be annoying to remove because of the typing. It gain abilities that makes me immune to such a move. But so technically, I wouldn't say it was really heat because it didn't succeed. But I mean, it still beat each run 1-on-1. So even though it wasn't the eat like I referred to earlier, I just thought it would still be funny to mention it. Like it technically could have done it. I was just stupid back then. Like I think I just put Bug Butt because it was the first special stat move I saw, not realizing Flash King was it. I was pretty bad back then, but this set was so funny to see it work. Like I know people were stunned to see just in action and it actually could have succeeded, but it didn't. So maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it, but like if I didn't, I would have only 2 Pokemon to talk about. So yeah, I click bait it myself. Yay! All right. All right, and now to move on to the last piece of Eat, and this one I actually have a replay to prove. Because I don't think I said any in this one, but for them in Sija, you actually had to take my word for it. But for this one, I have the replay ready to show. So for this third Pokemon, it was a Ralts. Okay, you want to take the one of them? Okay, but now Roth, not even Killia? Well, let me tell you the context first. This was in Little Cup, so of course it had to be Roth of all Pokemon. So, but even in Little Cup, Roth is, well, bad. Because, I mean, look at those stats. Even in Little Cup, they're pathetic. How are you supposed to use Roth in any way? Like, what does it do that can really help you and you as a Pokemon? It's just like just bottom trash that you pick just because you had to, but you just never touch. Well, well, I'll show you that indeed touch this world once. I don't mean it in a terrible way. It was just a metaphor. So the way I use this world, I first give it an Eviolite to make sure those defenses are not as frail as they are anymore. Then I give it a moveset of Stored Power, Calm Mind, Rest, and Sleep Talk. So, yeah, normally set like this, they're pretty dangerous because you know you're setting up your defenses and you're using as just a move that can just bulldoze everything. So of course, for me to use a set like this, you have to expect that there wasn't a single dark type versus the team I fought. And indeed, there was no dark type, so I was able to run this set freely. But how am I even supposed to set up with Ross in the first place? It's so frail, even with the bulk investment. Well, it has to do that I was able to make a Pokemon succeed because on the matchup. So one of the Pokemon that my opponent had was Mudbray. You know, a Pokemon that is pretty good in Little Cup. It has very good stat on the physical side. Like it has like one of the strongest Earthquake in the tier 2. Well, what makes one of the things good about Mudbray is also its ability of stamina, which boosts its defense on every attack it receives. Well, this is the beauty with Ralts. As the only Pokemon in the Little Cup back in Gen 8 that had the ability Trace, I'm able to trace stamina, so every time Ralts get hit by an attack, its defense is boosted. I boost my special defense with Calm Mind. I keep myself healthy with Rest and Sleep Talk. And then Star Power do all the damage I need because I get a lot of defense, special attack, and special defense boost. Making technically routes unkillable unless like a critical hit, which is technically the danger of running a set like this because you're playing with crits, especially with how slow Rolls is. But that was back in Gen 8. I just had said that even it was not like today where I know if I want something like this and to be mindful of crit, I was like, oh, I have to use this set. It's so demonic. That's me back then, basically. So the in the where I used it was in a team tour this time. I think it was a APA's team tour in little. It was also in Little Cup. Like in the actual match, the set actually failed because like I said, the weakness of the set like this is to get crit, and you know what? This set got crit and it lost. But however, of course, I did some testing with the team to make sure it worked. So I asked my good old buddy Jason to test with me for it. So I think this was also the sixth that my real opponent brought as well into real match. So now I think about it, technically has a dark if you use Sucker Punch with Scorbunny, but it cannot Sucker Punch forever. So that's not a way of him going to win. Don't forget, it's Gen 8 Libero, so it keeps changing types. It's not like Gen 9 where you could just Sucker and become a pure dark for the rest of the match. So yeah, so the way the match went for this mark at least, so I had like Ponyta to lure the Mudbray to burn it with a Will-O-Wisp because Ross doesn't take hits from Mudbray that kindly at first, especially if it's Heavy Slam. Like Earthquake does a lot, let alone Heavy Slam, so I need this thing to get its damage nerf to make sure my Ross can stop on it more easily. I have things like Baltoy to remove a hazard. Also, here I was kind of dumb, like putting that, oh, this thing is immune to electric, so yeah. So I played really not that great around it. I just got lucky with my shellos that was able to withstand it, so I could just close my. But that was back then. Like I said, I became better with when time went on. So here, yeah, Ponyta on the Rowlet, Morning Sun, and this is the part I want to say because if Murray dies, the route doesn't work. So we go here, we trace the stamina, and it's up rocks again, thinking that it's fine. We do have Baltoy, and now we start setting up. I guess he didn't know what kind of route it really was, so he just clicked Rock Tomb to see what it is. And then he saw Calm Mind, Stamina. Uh-oh. I think the ball is starting to roll. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I'm max defense, if you like, a +1. Burn heavy slime from Murray 38. So imagine this damage with no defense boost and a Murray not burned. Yeah, I was dead. Very dead. So here, of course, I'm being the greedy guy that I am by setting up like with a million. And yeah, my rolls is just getting bulkier and bulkier and bulkier. And I'm killing my brain now, which is kind of unfortunate because my brain was starting to do this damage. But about killing it, it's fine because, like I said, a crit can always happen, and a crit from my brain will still very hurt. So you see, he's combined on his Ponyta as well. So it's a war on the Calm Minds. So we just both set up to +6, except because I have a defense boost to make my story power even stronger. I do shot +6 Ponyta, which resists the move. And I'm not even fully story power yet. I'm still missing 2 boosts in my defense. Yeah, you can see his reaction that, uh-oh, this set actually hits hard. Yeah, and now I'm getting even stronger with more defenses. The Ponyta falls down. It goes Rowlet, just to give my last defense bullet as I rest for more. He tried to be with coil boosted gunshot from Ekans to no avail. Then Scorbunny. I just rest because why not? I just want this R to win. So yeah, that was the result I wanted to see in the real match. Like I said, I got crit, so it wasn't able to sweep. Also because he had it brought Mystical Fire on his Ponyta, which is my real opponent. I don't remember who it was, but it brought Mystical Fire, so my set wasn't able to break Ponyta. Then also you got crit, so. But you know what? Just for this mock alone, I thought it was worth mentioning the routes. Just just because something so creative. Because like I said, I always have like a saying that every Pokemon can succeed if given the right chance, and this was the situation where this route can count as it because this set could just get obliterated by everything, but because it was able to face with a Mudbray that ran stamina, I was able to create a set that can make it unbreakable unless hit by critical hit. So that really goes how far you can really go in draft. It's really just you to try to bring the perfect prep. Like sometimes the unknown set can be the deadliest as long as it has a meaning for its use. So yeah, of course I would have loved to mention more sets. Like my little brain was only able to remember this much about those three, and of course our Lord and Savior Ice Cube, and of course Mega Steelix. But yeah, I said so. It wasn't a lot. I wish I remember more Pokemon to talk about, but alas, this is all that I remember. So I hope this still please you guys to know a bit more how far I can go as a builder. So yeah, that's gonna be all of it for his video. I hope I'll get more ideas for other types of like talking videos. Something. What about something like you want to know about, like something that my opinion on or something. I don't know. Hope this still please you guys, and I hope I won't be lazy to not do another video for not before in a week. So I hope still please you guys. Stay perky. I don't know. I'm trying to say something different for my outro. I guess this is different because I don't know what to say. Okay. I'll see you guys later then. See ya, everyone.